So you've got a motorcycle to enjoy your weekends. You pick a destination, get your Google Maps out, and what do you find? 99% of the time, you're going to end up on a motorway. And even if you turn the motorway options to avoid, in my experience, I've ended up next to the motorway, just riding through the suburbs.
Nothing quite like riding on the motorway.
And that isn't a lot of fun either. Now, whether I'm riding solo or riding with my friends, this is a common occurrence. So I wanted to try an app dedicated to motorcyclists to see if it could give me more interesting roads to make those destination rides a little bit more fun, and to see if I could find roads that I hadn't actually ridden on before, which is always fun. That's what this video is about. So my name's Rob. I've got back into motorcycling after 30 years away. I've been back a little bit over a year now, and I've done about 10,000 kilometers maybe on my bike in that time. And this channel is all about experiencing motorcycling again and finding that enjoyment and freedom that makes it all worthwhile. So today we're testing out Calimoto. It's a dedicated motorcycle navigation and route planning app. So unlike the standard GPS apps that just look for the fastest highway commutes, which is one of my gripes with just using those, Calimoto has its own twisty road algorithms, and that helps you skip the boring straights. Now, when I looked into the reviews online, most riders seem to really like it, how it discovers these hidden scenic back roads that they never knew existed. But there's also other people who point out that the map data lacks live Google style traffic. It can also be a bit slow sometimes to reroute if you miss a turn. But I wanted to take it out for a spin to see exactly how it performs for me on the road. But if you want to look at the full breakdown of the features, you can check it all out on the website or through their app store. So I've got the app here. I don't know how easy you can see that. I'm just going to select new ride. Now you can create a round trip. That's kind of what I want to do today. I'm only going to do 100 kilometers. We're going to say winding, road profile, random. I kind of want to go north from where I am, and we'll do it from the current location. So it's creating this route. We're going to see what this looks like. It's only 100 Ks. We've got the route now. I'm going to just put this to sleep. We should see it on my Carpuride W702S Pro. Let's jump on the bike and go. Now, this video isn't sponsored. I'm actually using a 30-day trial of Calimoto. I'm going to be using my Carpuride W702S Pro, which also is Carpuride compatible. So you'll be able to see that on the screen, and that'll just make it a bit easier, and I can have my phone in my pocket and we can see how it goes. All right, so it's saying we've got an hour and 35 minutes of riding, 96 kilometers. Let's go. It's a bit weird the way it's looping back, but I guess that's probably because it's got to loop back to here. It's going to bring us back the same way. Anyway, let's see what it does. It would be interesting to know whether it's going to loop us back the exact same way, or it's going to find a different route on the way back, which would be more interesting. It's good to see. It's going to get us to go straight here, but it's got us coming back from a different road coming back. So it is making a difference between the two routes, which is good. You can see here it's coming back this way, coming back down. So it is going to do a different route coming back. So we'll just go straight from here and see what happens. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with this. One lane. We're going to turn left here. Let's just see. So this video isn't sponsored directly by Carpuride, but they did give me the Carpuride W702S Pro to try out a few months ago, and I've basically been using it ever since. I've just recently put it back on the bike because I needed to mount it a little bit differently. I have got a discount code in the description if you're interested. If you want to have something like this on your bike, you can get 30% off. Links in the description. Appreciate your support. All right, so it's got us turning right onto this street here. All right, so we're kind of already getting a little bit out of the urban areas, which is good. So you can see pretty clearly what it's got us doing. It's got us going straight and then over to the left. I don't know, I don't think I've been on here before. This is kind of cool that I'm going for a ride that's a bit different to what I've seen in the past or wouldn't have thought to go to. Okay, so I'm familiar with this road. I like the way it took me this way. So this is not totally new, but I do like the route that it took was a little bit different to what I typically would have done, and it kept me off the main road where there's quite a bit of traffic going through Kalanga and those kind of things, if you're familiar with the area. This is coming into Dayborough, I think. I have been here before, but it has picked a nice way to get here. It kept me off the main urban areas from where I was to getting to this road. It was still fairly quiet, which was good. So it looks like it's going to take us up through Mount Meat. So this is a nice place to ride. So we're going to be on this for 22 kilometers. Oh, it's going to take us to Campbell's Pocket Road. Now I've done a video where I went through Campbell's Pocket Road, so I think I've done that once or twice. That's a pretty good road to ride, so it looks like it's taking us up through Mount Meat, then Campbell's Pocket Road. All right, we're just going to stop here and have a quick look. So we've got the bike over here. We've got some beautiful views over there to the north. It's a really good view from here. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's like stopping and having a good look.
Anyway, baby, just name the time. When I'ma come through, can you got me cruising on the moonlight? Top down, playing new sounds while the wind blows away. Checking my maps, heading a stack, keep it in.
Now, one thing I did want to check, this is saying it's a 100k zone, but it's clearly 80. So it's not always going to be accurate, so just be careful with that. Beautiful place. Nice place to ride. There's basically 12 kilometers of riding through here. See, so this is not about going fast. This is about looking out there, enjoying the scenery, going slow and just enjoying the cruise. It's just so nice riding through here. This is blind, so we need to be careful. That view, beautiful. Look at that, beautiful. So in 4 kilometers we'll get back on the Diagula Highway, which I'm familiar with. So you can see now it's going to get us to turn right onto the Diagula Highway, which is a pretty main road around my area, where it kind of feeds back into the motorway sections and stuff. Looks like it's going to get us to take an exit up here. Could just go straight back to the motorway, so I'm curious to see where it's going to take us. I don't know if it's saying this one. Let's see. This is not an exit I've ever taken. Normally I'd go over there and go straight. Okay, so it's taken us through this urban ride, which I don't really like because intersections, a lot more cars, stop starts, that creates a problem, right? Like this is not a great ride to come back through here. Personally, I'd rather just get back on the motorway because I think it's safer. Interesting that it's saying caution point ahead. I can kind of understand why it's taking us through Moray Field and the area that we just went through, which is very urban. It's because it wants us to turn right here. It could have got us up further on the motorway before we went through this direction. But yeah, then we'd be on the motorway and we'd be coming back through here. So it obviously wants to take us back this way. So it has tried to keep us off the motorways essentially. What it's doing is prioritizing some urban roads over motorway. So this is basically where it's looping back and doing the same little route to get back to where we originally started. So we went a different route. We went up that way originally. This is basically where we originally started. We come up through here, so yeah, it's basically looping back. So we'll get back shortly where we started from, and we'll have a chat about my thoughts. So just wanted to jump in here and add in that I did do a separate ride with my friend Grant. We did about 2 hours of riding, maybe 2.5, something like that. We rode to the south of Brisbane, out to a pub out at Boona, I believe it was. We just stopped out there for some lunch. We found that it did take us through slightly different routes than we typically go. It did keep us off the motorway, and it was pretty much a pleasant ride all the way out there, which worked out well. Now, when we got out there wasn't any signal, so that was the first problem I encountered. We tried to set up a different route going back, but it would only give us the same route, and I've since found out, I believe that's because you have to go into the app settings, and somewhere in there you can go into offline mode. Now, I had downloaded the maps. Unfortunately, I didn't know about the offline mode until I got home. But we did enjoy the ride coming back. We ended up just winging it and just looking at the app to see where we're going until we got some signal, and then we got a road going back. But mostly we kind of just did our own ride back. But generally we both thought it was pretty good. What is this place called? Dunungan? Duganungan or something like that.
We'll murder the name.
So we actually did do pretty good with the app. I thought it actually did a pretty good job of bringing us a different direction. Wasn't like we'd never been on any of those roads. Like, we have been on some of them before, but it was a bit of a different route on some of it, I thought. Some of it we have been with Grant's father-in-law, who seems like he really knows a lot of these roads out here. But normally the roads that we've typically taken in the past that come kind of out this way aren't pretty much been different roads than the ones we're on. So from that respect, I actually think it actually did a pretty good job. And it was pretty easy to use. It worked well, worked as good as Google Maps. It doesn't really tell you if there's any police or anything, but it does tell you about red light cameras, those kind of things. But I wanted to get Grant's opinion of what he thought as well.
Yeah, seemed to work well. Not that I was in the lead bike, but definitely brought us on a few roads we haven't been on before.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind that the app doesn't know what roads we've ever been on.
True.
It was fairly good. Pretty reliable. Like I say, it doesn't pick up your traffic stuff and that, but because we're on Harleys, we never speed or do anything untoward, so it does.
Yeah, I think it was, overall, I think it's pretty good. Only downside, I think it really does use a lot of battery. I don't know. Compared to Google Maps, I feel like it uses a lot more battery, because typically in the past, I feel like my battery's been a lot better than this trip. So, and we've
They do tend to drag battery.
yeah, so maybe being a Google app, it's a bit more optimized. That's probably the only thing. And I had my phone in my pocket, so it's kind of dying now. So I'll have to plug it in and charge it up. But overall, I think it's pretty good. I'm going to try see if we can get a destination going back towards Grant's, and we'll see what sort of route it gives us. All right, so I've just got back. It was actually a good ride. So we're about riding for an hour and a half. It was actually a pretty good ride. Some of the roads were, probably not my ideal road, but it doesn't really know exactly what you're trying to achieve. It doesn't really ask any questions. So I think overall it did a pretty good job of making the ride interesting and fun. Now, some of the roads I'd already done. A lot of them I've already been on, but I think being 100 Ks from home and riding a lot around my own area, probably a bit of a big ask. But I think it did do a good job of giving me something interesting. So if I had to say, was the ride fun? Was it interesting? Yeah, I'd say it was. I think it was pretty good. Let's just say, let's give it a 8 out of 10 for fun factor. Now, would I pay for it? I think I would. I'm on my trial at the moment. I think I need to use it a few more times to see how much variation you get between rides. I think that's the critical thing on whether I would pay or not. So I'm going to test it out a bit more, but if it can give me a bit of variety for each ride, I know you're going to get a lot of the same roads, and I think that's okay. But to create a little bit of variety and just make the rides more fun, I think that's actually a good thing. Now, in terms of negatives, one, I think it drains your battery a lot. I don't have anything that actually says that's true, but I do feel like my battery on my phone drains quite a bit. I think compared to, say, Google Maps on my phone, and I'm using Android, I feel like this is using a lot more of my phone battery than what Google Maps does. If there was any other negative, maybe that it doesn't tell you where the police are. We did see police a few times. It would be good to know where the police are if there's speed cameras. Obviously you get that through Google Maps and Waze if you use the Waze app. So anyway, I'm going to try it a few more times. I think it does need to be a bit more pressure tested before I can make a firm decision, but I'm going to try it on a few more rides, see how we go. Also, just to let you know, I've started a online merch shop. It's shop.throttlereborn.com. I'll put links in the description. You can now get some merch if you want to support me. It's more for people who just want to support me and help me build the channel and do more stuff to the bike and go on longer rides and, you know, basically fund my journey, return to motorcycling and support that, but only do it if you have the budget for it. Here's one of the caps I've got. I've got a few t-shirts and stuff. Now it is all made to order. It mostly ships from the US. The shop is done through Fourth Wall. They basically handle everything. If you do take that up, I appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Yeah, thanks very much. Okay, that wraps it up for this one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Let me know what you think in the comments about Calimoto and the ride we went on. I appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.